the English-speaking person who's kind of cut off, stranger in a strange land kind of thing.
So,
oh, that's innovative, actually.
Yeah, but it's very funny. Very funny. Lots of subtle humor in there.
Are there ever French jokes told that if you didn't know French, you wouldn't get? Well, you wouldn't know because you don't know French.
Or
do you know French?
I do not.
I never did that.
Not at all. But the one thing that I learned from Wendy, that's why I learn everything, is I guess the French use a lot of sound effects when describing things.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know that. I thought, are they doing that for the benefit of the American audience? But Wendy said that's part of the...
Well, I knew there was like some African tongues where they do, they have clicks and that's like part of the, instead of actual consonants and vowels, they actually have noises.
They ain't got time. They got time for vowels and things.
There's leopards chasing them and stuff.
Should we start to mosey on out, go mobile with this?
We should probably do this. Yes.
Because, and if you don't mind, we'll take my car because it hasn't run in a while.
I don't mind at all.
And it may not run.
Well, that'll be an exciting thing to find out.
It'll be an adventure. Come with us, podcast listeners.
Follow along while we...
we head to the front of the one-room studio complex and... We grab our shoes.
Yeah.
Because we don't like to go barefoot.
No, and at this time of year, now that we're in our present and not your present, listener, there is snow on the ground.
Which you may hear us walking through.
Yeah.
But hopefully not slipping and falling on.
There is a great moment in... are you familiar with the album... The Great White North that...
Bob and Doug?
Yeah, Bob and Doug.
Yeah. I used to be. I haven't heard it.
Well, in their liner notes, this is not the actual album. It's they have like the sleeve that the record went into. The actual album had like a little... They called themselves the Hosers. They're from SCTV. And they're Bob and Doug McKenzie. They're supposed to be... They wore toques, and they had all these Canadian affectations, and they on the sleeve that the record went in, they had a little newspaper like the Hoser News, something like that. And one of the things was that they had an advice column, and people were supposedly wrote letters in for asking for their advice. And this one guy wrote in, "Hey, Bob and Doug, whenever I have a party at my house, my friends." Tracking snow off their shoes, and then I'm walking around in my stocking feet, and I always get a soaker. And what do I do? But I always love that term, a soaker.
That's good.
Yeah, for when someone tracks snow into the house and it melts, and you walk through it in your stocking feet. So the reason I bring that up is you may hear Dave and I get a soaker.
We might get a soaker, yeah. That was a very funny album. I remember enjoying it.
Oh yeah.
I thought the movie was really good, too.
Yeah, The Strange Brew.
And what I thought, actually one of the brilliant things I thought in the movie is it started out really bad, but they did that on purpose.
Yeah, it's there.
Because I was thinking, I was like, oh my God, we're going to sit through 90 minutes of this?
Yeah. Just
and how genius to let's make a bad movie at first and then
it was like them doing their little, what essentially was a visual podcast.
Right,
and then it just kind of bleeds into their real life. So
yeah, Bill and I are just a knockoff, plagiarizing Bob and Doug's podcast, except we're not Canadian.
No.
And I don't know, and other things.
Careful on steps.
We're not other things. Yeah, watch the ice.
Yeah.
Now, Bill had mentioned the snow, so I'm going to walk through some purposely, not to get a soaker, but just to prove what's going on here. There we are. Well, we got to walk through the snow to get to the car anyway.
Yeah.
The birds seem to think it's spring.
Yeah. It's all right with me. Spring can't come quick enough this year for me. Now, we're going to see with the car starts.
Boom. Sorry about that. Car starts. For anybody listening on headphones, I apologize about or maybe you're enjoying the crazy stereo stuff that's going on because we've been moving.
The sound effects, actual movement.
But moving the microphones around.
Hey, here's something that's off topic, but I'm reminded of this.
Oh, it's off topic?
Yes. I know, it's hard to believe. I see you have a collection of those little poppies that they sell.
Yes.
Hanging from your rearview mirror.
Yeah, Veterans Day poppy.
I recently became aware, and I don't know what is the matter with our state. This is our undisclosed state of Illinois. Illinois just recently passed a law saying that you can be ticketed for having anything hanging from your...
You're kidding.
No.
I'm
the reason I know this is our friend Joy Bohlin. Hi, Joy.
Hi, Joy. She's been on the podcast briefly, hasn't she?
Yes, she has, but she hasn't been identified. Oh, we blew it.
Oh, boy, and you didn't even get her permission.
No, oh well. Well, she's not on the podcast now. Yes, I am. I'm sorry, Joy.
Was that her little is it what her cryptic message was about on Facebook the other day?
Well, it was a while back. She got a ticket for having air freshener hanging from her thing. It was like a $75 ticket.
How does the police profile like that?
I think it's just a reason they could stop you.
Because Joy's obviously younger, and when I was younger, they pulled me over all the time.
Oh, sure.
and I still have that thought, like, oh boy, there's a cop. I'm gonna get pulled over again because I still have the long hair.
Well, you're a troublemaker.
But I'm wondering how they figure that out now.
I don't know. I think it's if people have things hanging from their windshield, from their rearview mirror. I guess the law is you can't have anything that would obstruct your view of the highway through the windshield.
Does that mean my rearview mirror's got to go too?
Yeah, because it's actually on the window. Yeah, I don't know, but I was shocked and stunned and horrified to know that it's like they still sell those air fresheners in Illinois. They're not illegal to sell.
Hanging from your interior light in the middle or something?
I don't know what you're supposed to do.
I mean, that should have been something that they would send out on your renewal notice.
Well, yeah, it seems like a sneaky thing to just slip in to the law and not tell anybody about it. I never remember reading anything about it. It was just suddenly a law. And, it unfortunately... It is being misused. It's like clearly, I'm just guessing. I wasn't there, but it just seemed like a cop saw a bunch of young people in a car, said, "Oh, they're not doing anything else bad. There's something hanging from the mirror. I'll use that excuse to pull them over."
Right, exactly. And I suppose Illinois being one of the most cash-strapped states there are, it's another quick money grab.
Yeah.
And it's probably, they snuck that one in, so, we already covered that. I haven't been paying attention to the news, but, what's next? Oh, you know what? Hey, it's Tuesday. No, you can't drive with a gray shirt today. Sorry, gotta give you a ticket for that. Gray shirt.
Strange, it's arbitrary. It's just all arbitrary. It's the man trying to keep us down, Dave.
The man.
Well, I see Casey's.
General store.
Yeah.
They deliver. I suppose we could have done that, but...
as long as this is a general store, I wonder if they have like a pickle barrel and a couple of old guys playing checkers on it.
They do not.
Oh.
Do you just want to wait here, or how do you do it on time?
No, I'll just wait. I'll mark time with. I'll say something.
Oh, well, it looks like we got about 6 minutes.
Okay, well,
for this podcast. So,
maybe I'll be concluding it. Maybe I won't.
So, listeners, if I don't see you before the end of this podcast, I'll say goodbye now.
Bye, Dave.
Okay, bye, Bill.
And here I am. And now we're all alone with our memories. And it occurs to me that, well, we take titles like, okay, this Casey's is called a general store. It's really a gas station. It sells pizza. We're going to buy this vegetarian breakfast pizza now. That's what Dave's going in to get. Oh, I see a little cat walking around outside. That's very much like a general store. But it's just a small chain gas station here in the Midwest. And they call themselves a general store. And, you know, it's not that they don't have the right to call themselves that, but it's like they're trying to evoke an earlier age, like a more nostalgic thing. And instead of it being the real thing, the real general stores pretty much don't exist anymore, except maybe out in the, you know, the real hinterlands where there isn't even gas stations, maybe. I imagine a real general store might be up in the Yukon somewhere. In these little villages that don't have any roads that lead to them, where you have to come in by airplane or sled dog. And the mountain men come in to get their supplies once a year into the general store. And you have, like, you know, some old geezers sitting playing checkers over a Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel is another one of those franchises where they're trying to evoke an earlier time. And maybe all that should tell me is I should try to think of another old-fashioned institution or saying and turn it into a franchise for the modern age. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth doing. I don't know if there's some kind of ethical law being broken. It feels like it. It does kind of like, oh, what are you calling it that for? You know, you're just a gas station. You sell stuff like any other gas station, but you're calling yourself a general store. You know, I don't mind gas stations calling themselves mini marts or whatever, but there's just something about that term general store. It is a general store. I mean, I suppose technically it fits the definition. I suppose I shouldn't get so upset about it. You know what? Truth be told, I'm not that upset about it, but it does make me think, like, if I had my druthers, if I could control society, which is my fantasy, to control society, I would do away with stuff like that. It's like there's a bar franchise that came out right around the time that the television program Cheers went off the air. And there was a lot of nostalgia about Cheers at that time. And it was run, the bar in Cheers, which was called Cheers, was run by Sam Malone, and he was known as Sammy. And now, all of a sudden, just as Cheers is going off the air, it seemed like it was perfectly timed. There was this franchise of bars called Sammy's, spelled S-A-M-Y''S, which, I'm sorry, should really be pronounced Sammy's. So, oh, here comes Daver back with the vegetarian pizza. And he's got donuts. I see donuts.
Hey, would you mind holding this, Bill?
Oh, not at all.
How are we doing on time?
We actually, we have like 2 minutes.
2 minutes? We'll get back to the One Room Studio complex by then. I just want to let the listeners know what's going on here.
Yes.
Now, as I've mentioned, that smells good.
It does smell good. It really does.
I've had their regular supper pizzas, but the breakfast pizza, and when they handed it to me, I can't believe the weight of this breakfast pizza.
Yeah.
This breakfast pizza is loaded with something.